Yeah, let's have it. It's the Frog and Flow Show.
I'm DJ Flow, come on!
The one and only Omar Tyree, that's right. The author in the building right now. Damn, what's going on, O?
Yeah, Omar's name is popular right now. His brother passed away in New York, and he actually had a cousin that lived right next to me in Charlotte.
Yeah?
Yeah, Omar.
Okay. Yeah, rest in peace to that brother again, man.
Yeah.
I mean, good
Michael
brother.
Williams.
Michael K. Williams, that's right. Put his thing down for our generation.
Yeah, because you had the other Michael Williams that played in what's Sugar Hill and what's the name of the other movie? The Five Heartbeats.
Yeah.
I feel like going on. Yeah, every time he do that, man, I break down, boy. When they get to that part of the movie, yeah, it was an emotional movie.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
And when I saw it in D.C., it was 7 people in the theater, man. 7 people, man. So we go to the crazy movies, but we don't go to the good-spirited movies, you know?
Yeah.
Now, it ended up doing great numbers after that, but the week of the movie came out, you know, 7, I counted them.
Dang.
7 people in D.C. when I was down there. Yeah.
But it got better later, greater once they started hearing about the movie.
Yeah, once it got out there. But, you know, as far as going to see it, you know, they didn't give him his props going to see it the first weekend.
But talk to him, man. Everybody know you. I know you.
Yeah.
Some old heads out there know you. The community know you.
Yeah,
For
the
the
young
youngest
boys.
that don't know you,
Yeah.
introduce yourself, man.
Yeah, Omar Tyree, West Philadelphia, Uptown, moved up here, played for the West Oak Lane Wildcats, graduated from Central High School, went to Pitt. I wanted to play football like most of us brothers in the inner city, and that's where, you know, the whole writing thing started. But I was already a storyteller. You know, I came from a storytelling family enough. West Philly. I had 2 uncles, Monte and Andre, and them jokers love movies, and I was like the first nephew because my mom was the oldest of 8. And so they would ask her for money to take me to the movies, you know what I mean? We would babysit Antoine. My name was Antoine back then. I changed to Omar. And we take Twan to the movies, but we need some money. And so my mom would get him the money. And then, you know, all day I'm hanging out with my uncles, and then we walk up Lancaster Avenue from the bottom of West Philly to the top, 52nd Street, the Capitol Center. And we go in there and watch 3 martial arts movies, and I come out with the voices, Master Who, if you teach me the pole technique, teacher, if you teach me the monkey style. And then my uncles was like, damn, he didn't memorize the movie. I was like 5, 6, 7. And then we get back to the bottom and, you know, 38th Street and Aspen down in the bottom. And then my uncles would be like, Antoine, do the old man's voice. Pastor Who, if you know. And so I do all the voices, and then dudes crowding. So I was a young boy in the middle of storytelling. So, you know, once I started writing later on at the college level, then it took it to the next level, because when you write it down, more people can get it without you being there. You know, I tell people all the time, when you're a verbal storyteller, you got to be there. Now y'all got audio visual, so that's the other thing. But, you know, they're not going to listen to you tell stories too long, you know what I mean? You're going to have to put it in a movie. You're going to have to put it on a CD with some type of music, or, you know, you write it in a book.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I can do all of them. So, you know, now I'm making that transition to music and film. It's natural for me, but for everybody else, they going to get to learn about it.
What was that first book you wrote, man?
Yeah, I had a book called Colored on White Campus. You know what I mean? I went to Pittsburgh and I became radical. If y'all ever seen that movie, School Days, Lawrence Fishburne was like the radical dude in the movie.
So that was you at the University of Pitt.
Man, that's why I had to leave Pitt, man, because I was so radical. I was thinking about beating white folks every day, man. I said, I got to get out of here. Then I went to Howard, you know, the Mecca, black people, because I wanted to be around that. And that's where I graduated, you know what I mean, 2 years later. So I did half and half, so I can talk about both situations.
Sides. That's what's up.
Yeah, definitely.
Talk about the book, The Fly Girl, man.
Yeah, that came second, man, and that's just, you know, 1980s. I moved up to Mount Airy, like I said, you know, the uptown thing. Mount Airy, West Oak Lane, Germantown. And in the 80s, man, you know, them folks had a little bit of money. Not a lot of money.
They had the pretty girls up there, too, baby.
Enough money to get their hair done and get their teeth fixed and go to Catholic school and look good every day, and then go Atlantic City for the Gucci bags. And then it was like all the dudes dudes wanted to come up to Mount Airy to talk to the
Uptown
girls. And we was already there. And so I had to, get my hair cut and get the waves and all that, This is still an uptown cut now, you know what I mean? So all that stuff came out of Mount Airy, because when I came up there, I was a peasy-headed hard rock from West Philly. I wasn't. But when you got to be a teenager and you saw them fly girls, you knew what you needed to do.
Going through Cheltenham Mall, huh?
Yeah, all the time. And then they had the movie theaters back there, the Cheltenham Twin, and then they took it inside and had like 9 theaters. And so I was always up there. Then you you get some food on Old Guns Avenue. Then you go to the parties up Wadsworth or Stenton Ave or whatever it was. Oh, I was everywhere, man, everywhere. Then you go back West Oak Lane with the Simon's Playground. Yeah, I was all over that place, man. Yeah, everywhere.
So how did the book do?
Oh, the book did excellent, man. It was like girls started reading it, and that's the main thing. I wrote a whole lot of guy books, more guy books than girl books, but girls read more than guys.
Yeah.
So guys were like, oh, yes, the dude that write the girl books. I got more masculine books. In fact, I wrote about D.C. When it was called the Murder Capital. Rayful Edmonds went to jail right before I got there. So when he was in jail, all the other dudes in D.C. wanted to take over the territory. And so that's when it became the Murder Capital, when jokers shooting up everything, killing people being found in the back of cars and that kind of stuff. So that's what happened in D.C. I wrote that book. But Fly Girl, since Girls Outread Guys, that book took off, man. They hadn't seen all the slang and all the things that we did, right in their face, Okay. Yeah, so you don't want me bobbing back and forth, huh? Yes, that's my swag, man. It's my swag. You trying to take my swag. You want me stiff, right? Like this here. All right, I can do that.
No, but that's what's up. So right now, man, you came and we was talking behind the scenes about this music, because you getting ready to get into that.
Yeah.
And you getting ready to record some reference songs, and you got a lot of big A-list names that you're doing these reference songs to, man.
Well, us coming in Philly, man, I came up in the 70s, you know what I mean? And so Kenny Gamble and Leon Huff, they were like the gods of music at that time. And we just happened to be in Philadelphia. So everybody was coming here to Sigma Sound and record their music. A lot of people were coming to Philadelphia, major artists, to work with Kenny Gamble and Leon Huff. So we came up with all that. And then in Philadelphia, when hip-hop music started, we had some of the top DJs in the country. And then we had the #1 tour city, because New Yorkers, when they were doing their hip-hop, that ain't no tour, you already in New York.
Yeah.
So when you came down 95 to Philly, it's like, yo, Philly is live. They got the DJs and girls and parties. Oh, it's crazy. And so New Yorkers would always come down to Philadelphia for concerts, at the Spectrum.
Exactly.
And of course, you get down there, and them South Philly dudes is crazy, you know what I mean? Because they can walk to the Spectrum.
Yeah,
everybody else had to kick a car and a bus and a train.
You might have to rumble on the train to get back from the concert.
Man, as soon as you came out, them South Philly dudes all over the place.
They was right home.
And then, of course, when we had the Greek Day out there in West Philly, Fairmont, now you got the West Philly boys out there. You had to deal with them dudes.
Shut the Greek Day.
And then you go to the North Philly side, the Strawberry Mansion side, you got to deal with the North Philly dudes. So, Philadelphia's always been territorial, and, and during those eras, everybody was walking around. It was a lot more people out than it is now. Like now, look at it like it's more of an introverted culture. Where we was coming up in the 70s and 80s, it was very extroverted. Everybody was out. And then Philadelphia with the row house, we got like 400 or 500 people on every block. You know what I mean? If you got a good block, so it's crazy, man. I love it. And so Fly Girl came out of all that, just, remembering those times of the 1980s. And the girls were the ones reading the book. Then the guys would read it. Then a lot of guys in prison would read the stuff. And then I started sending books to jail and whatnot. And a lot of guys, of course, would read the Capital City joint too. But girls outread guys. So that's why the girl books are dominant. Yeah, so I'm like the Fly Girl man. You know what I mean? Like, I got all these books, but I'm the Fly Girl because girls read all the books.
We're talking about this music you getting ready to do too with this album, man.
Yeah, I got the Hot Lava on my chest right now. The Hot Lava. But yeah, Hot Lava was something I started 2002.
Hot Lava Entertainment.
Hot Lava Entertainment. Right? Yeah, I'm an Aries, you know what I mean? So that whole red blood fire sign, you know what I mean? Hot tempered, all that. I was like, I gotta use that red, you know what I mean? I try to go away from that and be cool. So I said, I'm gonna take blue was my favorite color. But like Jay-Z said, you are who you are, player. If you try to change it, it's the top layer. So when push come to shove, I come back to that red fire and wanting to do stuff, So with Hot Lava, I saw that, of course, the musicians, they get most of the love and the athletes, you know what I mean? And so I wanted some more of that love. I wanted to do, and I had, the poetry skills. I was in the same North Philly poetry clubs with Jill Scott and my brother Dude. He's a lawyer now in Philly. And we had a whole bunch of people down there doing poetry, and then we had a lot of the A&Rs from New York would come down. I heard D'Angelo's joint, Brown Sugar first in North Philly.
I remember they had Dallas.
It didn't even come out yet.
Dallas, the club on Broad Street, what it was called, the Dallas something? Poetry
they had Warm Daddies, they had Blue, what's the name of that? I forget the name of that daggone joint. And then they had North Star Bar in North Philly. That's where we used to go. I think it's on Girard Avenue, like 29th and Girard. And they closed it down now, but we used to be over there. And Blue Note was another joint downtown. And then Warm Daddies with Zanzibar Blue was the other joint. So we would go in there and they play jazz music in the background. And I was one of the best poets to music, you know what I mean? Because I would just ride the mood. And so then I started writing poetry to jazz music. And then I started writing R&B songs to R&B music. And then hip hop was right there. So I started doing that. So I really started in 95, came out with a couple records in 95, like hobby kind of stuff. And then I did a whole album in 2002. And then I did a soundtrack album in 2004, was All Hot Lava. But each time when you got to trying to push and work a record with DJs and promoters and the clubs and I still had a book writing career. So I was like, yo, man, that's a little too much. So I just wanted to do records. A little bit. Yeah. So now I'm coming back in it. The book game is not as heavy as it used to be because now everybody watching reality shows and they got social media, they don't read like they used to. So now I'm like, all right, now I got to be serious about this music. So now I got to take it to the hilt with the DJs, the clubs, the promotions, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I got to go all in.
The album gonna be melodic. It's not just gonna be rap or R&B. It's gonna be mixed.
It's gonna be everything, man. I love the Caribbean music, man. The EDM music is really disco, and then it went to house music in Chicago. Now white folks picked it up internationally and called it EDM. You know what I mean? And drum music. So I like that music. You know what I mean? Of course, the Spanish
chill
music.
Out over in DC.
I got hot Spanish music. The go funk in DC. Trouble Funk was one of the hottest bands. Pump Me Up, Drop the Bomb, and Arcade Funk was one of my favorites from DC's go music. So they hot, and that's like my second home after going to Howard. So the music thing, I saw what Puffy did, and he was way bigger than me because we was doing the same thing at the same time. I had the book business and Puffy had the music business. Way bigger, you know what I mean? So I'm looking at that like, wow, as far as making an impact in the community. With a lot of the books I was writing, if it could get more people involved, it would have a bigger impact. So that's what I'm thinking about with music, have a bigger impact. You talked about it earlier, when these guys are not doing the right things, not saying the right things, and nobody's championing the positive, it got to be funky.
Exactly.
So my groups was Public Enemy and Gangstar, baby. Guru and Premier had hot music and they were saying something. Exactly. So, you can't have, a content-laden stuff and it ain't funky. It got to be both. And so I understand that when I'm bringing music, the beats are crazy and then the writing is on point.
Bro, when we get back on the next Get Around, you're going to talk about the movie a little bit, some more of the music a little bit, who you got up on the album, and where they could just find you on social media. All right? My man Omar Tyree. Peace. Welcome back, y'all. We right here in the last chapter. You know what I mean? Philly with Frog, DJ Flow. This the podcast show. We sent with my man Omar Tyree right here. And he just was giving y'all the gift of gab and who he is, how he started, the books he write. Now we're getting a little bit more into the music. Talk to me about this new album real quick and who you got up on it, man.
Yeah, the Philadelphians, all Philadelphian album. Just landed Eden S. and Reed's Dollars on a Warmonger song. Vodka on there too from Uptown.
Okay.
And so that's gonna be a fun record to put out, gonna be a fun video. I got two young boys from Philly, man, that I was trying to hook up with them 3 years ago.
Okay.
Now they're older and even more seasoned, and they good dudes. The Tag, he got a hot record, what they gonna say. And I got this other young boy named Knowledge.
Okay.
And he got a joint called Philly Style. And then they both on a song called The Philadelphians. And I'm looking for some, Dominican, Puerto Rican flavor. I'm looking for Caribbean flavor out there in Southwest, with the Yardies. And get some Jamaicans on it. And then, of course, I gotta have R&B on it. And so I'm gonna have a mix of everything, man, showcasing my talent as a producer. Hearing the beats, hearing the song on the beats, mixing and mastering. I've been doing all that stuff, man, since 95, the first time I went in the studio. So, a lot of times these kids, they spit and leave. I don't leave. I cut the checks for the thing. I'm staying there with the engineer. I'm watching all the stuff he doing, and that's been years now, 20-something years. So I know this thing. So a lot of people are like, what do you know about music? I know more about music than a lot of people that's making music right now. Because again, they spit and then leave the studio. I don't leave the studio. I'm still there, mixing, mastering, working with the equipment, changing the adjustments to the mix, and then looking at the arrangement of the song. Move this here, move that there, make this 4 bars instead of 8, make this 8 bars instead of, the whole 9. So I've been doing that since the 90s, man. So now it's just about going all the way in, getting the DJs to play the record, getting it on radio, then doing, tour circuits and doing clubs and all that kind of stuff. But I'm just going to be the producer. So I'm looking at, the Timberland position, the Pharrell position, the Dr. Dre position, Kanye, Just Blaze, even Jazzy Jeff here in Philadelphia produced a lot of hot records, man. Jill Scott's first record, Floetry, so I'm doing that thing where you back up the Kenny Gamble, the Leon Huff, the Quincy Jones, where you just understand the vision of the music and where you want to take it. And then you got the videos. I'm a storyteller, visual videos, so it's gonna be more than young boys aiming guns at the screen. That's like so overdone and ridiculous, you know what I mean? So now you got a real storyteller telling music video stories. So that's gonna be fun. The first song is already out, International Soul, and that's giving a shout out to Kenny Gamble and Leon Huff for Philadelphia International Records. And then I got a song out called Uptown Thing from a young boy named Super C's. He's from Uptown. And then I got a young lady that put out a song called Putting In Work, and she's down there in Southwest Philly too. So we're gonna have a whole lot of stuff on this album, 17 cuts, and then I'm gonna do the last cut, the bonus cut, called My Turn. This is my turn now. You just had your turn. You got more to learn. You got time to burn. I got money to earn. That's why it's my turn. I'ma kill that Jamaican style. So that's the last song on the album. I'm gonna try to get Lil' Kim on that one. So I'm gonna go after Lil' Kim because I like that Light Us Up song that she did, you know what I mean, with the Jamaican dancehall rhythms out of Brooklyn. So that's gonna be nice, so that's the only cameo that I want to get on there from another city. Everybody else is Philadelphians.
Say no more. Talk about the Philadelphians, this merch that we're looking at, man. Where can they get it? And let them know your gram, your social media right now.
That's brand new, man. This Philadelphia hat right here came out of the Philadelphians logo. My dude in New York, Christopher Clark, been doing a lot of artwork for my books and whatnot, and he's a hot brother, man. So I got him to do the logo. And then once I had the logo, I said, let me go ahead and do apparel, because you always do that when you got a new brand coming out. So, of course, I'm going to have Hot Lava gear, and then you're going to have Philadelphia exclusive gear. So we're going to start with the hats and the T-shirts, of course, and the hoodies. And then we're going to get fancy with the jackets and the knick-clack, and then we're going to get the two-tone. So it's so much stuff you can do once you got a quality logo. So this joint right here is like the laid-back P that you get from the Philadelphians. So we're going to see that all over the city, because I got a street team. Once the album is finished, we gonna smother the city. And Philly's that kind of city where you got a whole lot of walls and stuff where you can do that. Exactly. And a lot of people are like, oh man, it's digital now. I just want to get the city first. Get the city of Philadelphia. Then we can move outside of Philly to other places, because I got songs for a lot of folks. But I want to get Philly first. So it's gonna be hard marketing here in Philadelphia, all over the place. Everywhere they look, we're gonna have that Philadelphian stuff. Then in the videos, of course, we're gonna load the videos with all the gear. You know what I mean? So the tag and knowledge and all the young boys I'm gonna have in the videos are gonna be wearing the gear.
Well, it was good having you, man. Let everybody know about your social media, where they can reach you at.
Yeah.
Give them all your gram, your Facebook. Talk to them right now.
Yeah, Instagram is the main thing that people following, and I'm only one, the number one, only one Omar Tyree. Everything else is Omar Tyree. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, but then you got the Hot Lava YouTube page. We're gonna really hammer that, because we want to show the visuals of everything we doing with the music, and that's the way where we can get people to really come on outside and see what we're doing with the great songs that we're putting together. So the YouTube channel is gonna be huge with Hot Lava, and we just starting to shoot a lot of those videos now. Aviance is the group that did International Soul. 2 girls, one from West, one from North Philly. They already got a video out, and then I got some older videos. I did a Black Panther song some years ago in West Philly. That's on there. And so, then I did a song last year. I did an album last year called The Last Summer, because we didn't know if it was going to be the last summer or not. And that was a very socially strategic album I did out of Charlotte. And I got a song on that one called The Front Line. You know, I'm gonna see you on the front line. Everybody talk that talk, but they don't jump on the front line. You know, it's too dangerous for them. But that's what we talked about on that. I want to see you on the front line, and that's what kind of brother I am. I'm gonna jump right on that front line. You know, it's intellectual, but you know, a lot of jokers talk about, you know, doing what they need to do, but you got to do what you need to do educationally, economically. You got to do it moralistically. You know, so it's a lot of ways in which you can be on the front line. You know, and I've always been one to speak up and say something. That's why I'm a writer now, and that's why I'm getting involved with music. And then film is the final frontier, so we got that coming next.
Okay.
Hot lava.
That's what I'm talking about. Well, it was a blessing having you, man. This
Thanks,
Omar
man.
Tyree.
Yeah.
This ain't the first time you coming up.
Yeah.
And you be back in the lab tomorrow doing your own references in the lab.
Yeah, we got to get a lot of the music out to them established artists, man. So they all got to hear the references. So, you know, I can knock them out, and then they got to understand that, okay, it's me doing it. And then at the next level, you got to get reference singers and get their schedule. Then you got to teach them the song and all that stuff. So
Well,
I'm
you
like,
know how that shit go,
yeah, I can
man.
knock it out quicker. You know what I mean? Like, and I know all the stuff. I don't have to teach myself to do it. So y'all gonna see that tomorrow, because I've been doing reference records for a minute, and I know how to do them because I know exactly how I want to execute the song, because I've been writing, you know, and producing songs for 20-something years now.
Oh, that's what's
so I'm
up.
good at it. So now people about to find out, because I had that book career that was standing in the way of going all the way into music. And I'm not doing that now. We going all the way into music now.
Hey, well, y'all heard it from the horse's mouth, man. This
Yeah.
frog from the last chapter. Go to that YouTube page, subscribe. You know what I mean? Last chapter 247. Yo, shout out to Big Flo. Get your ass back up in here, homie. You know what I mean? Y'all give us y'all reactions to my reaction to them videos. Shout out to Omar Tyree. Much success, brother. And we gonna see everybody on the giddy up, on the get around. Good looking Sim. Good looking next. Peace. Yeah, let's have it. It's the Frog and Flow Show.